What if you could disappear? Erase your past, fake your own death, and start a new life with a mountain of cash? It sounds like the plot of a movie, right? But for one man, this audacious plan became a bizarre reality. He vanished without a trace, declared dead in a tragic accident. But 5 years later, a single photograph, taken thousands of miles from home, would expose a lie so brazen it would leave the world utterly speechless. How did he pull it off? And more importantly, how did it all come crashing down in the most spectacularly public way imaginable? Before he was the infamous Canoe Man, John Darwin was, on the surface, just an ordinary guy. A former teacher and prison officer living in Seaton Carew, a seaside town in northeast England. He was married to Anne, his high school sweetheart. Together they had 2 sons, Mark and Anthony. To the outside world, they were a normal, unassuming family. John was seen as a bit of a dreamer, always cooking up grand schemes to get rich quick. He and Anne had a portfolio of rental properties, but behind the facade of success, a storm was brewing. They were drowning in debt, teetering on the brink of financial ruin. The pressure was immense, and John, ever the schemer, started to hatch a plan. It wasn't just a get-rich-quick scheme this time. It was a get-out-of-everything-free card. A plan so desperate and so wild, it could only end in triumph or complete disaster. The night of March 21st, 2002 was cold and gray. John Darwin, a seasoned canoeist, told his wife Anne he was taking his red canoe, the Panther, out for a paddle on the North Sea. It was a routine he often enjoyed, but this time he wouldn't return. The next day, a large-scale search and rescue operation was launched. The Coast Guard, lifeboats, and helicopters scoured the coastline. Anne played the part of the distraught wife perfectly, reporting her husband missing and expressing her fears to the authorities and her heartbroken sons. A few weeks later, the shattered remains of John's distinctive red canoe washed ashore. The evidence seemed conclusive. Despite no body being found, John Darwin was officially declared dead. His sons, Mark and Anthony, mourned a father lost to the unforgiving sea. Anne, now a widow, collected over £250,000 in life insurance payouts. The chapter of John Darwin was closed, or so everyone believed. In the immediate aftermath, the story was a straightforward tragedy. A family man, beloved by his wife and sons, swallowed by the sea in a cruel twist of fate. The initial investigation concluded it was a simple accident. The community of Seaton Carew rallied around the grieving widow, Anne, and her sons. No one suspected a thing. The shattered canoe was the only physical evidence, and it told a grim story. The police saw no reason to doubt Anne's account. The focus was on providing support, not on uncovering a conspiracy. After all, who would concoct such a cruel lie? Who would put their own children through the agony of believing their father was dead? The idea was unthinkable. For a while, the plan had worked flawlessly. John Darwin had successfully died. But here's where the story takes a truly strange turn. While the world believed John was at the bottom of the North Sea, he was actually living a secret life right next door. He had been hiding out in a bedsit connected to the family home, a secret room accessible through a hidden doorway behind a wardrobe in Anne's bedroom. He grew a long beard and changed his appearance, venturing out only under the cover of darkness, disguised as an old man. He lived like a ghost in his own life, listening as his sons visited their grieving mother on the other side of the wall. This bizarre arrangement went on for years. Anne, meanwhile, was living a double life. To her sons and the world, she was the grieving widow. In private, she was the accomplice, smuggling food to her very much alive husband and maintaining their elaborate deception. The lie was a constant, suffocating presence in their lives, a secret that bound them together in a web of deceit. The pressure of maintaining this charade was immense, and the couple knew they couldn't stay in Seaton Carew forever. Their ultimate goal was to start a new life somewhere far away from anyone who knew them. With the life insurance money, they set their sights on Panama. In 2006, using a fake passport under the name John Jones, the ghost of John Darwin flew to Central America with Anne to scout for properties. They dreamed of opening a hotel or a canoeing center, a final, ironic twist to their story. While in Panama, They met an estate agent who took a photo of the smiling couple, a seemingly innocent tourist snapshot. Anne emailed this photo back to the estate agent. This single, careless click of a button would become the ticking time bomb that would ultimately blow their entire world apart. The photo was uploaded to the internet, a digital ghost waiting to haunt them. By 2007, 5 years after his death, John Darwin decided it was time to come back to life. The reasons are still debated, but it seems he missed his sons and was tired of living as a phantom. Perhaps he thought enough time had passed. His grand plan for resurrection was as audacious as his disappearance. He walked into a London police station, claiming he had amnesia and couldn't remember anything from the past 5 years. "I think I'm a missing person," he told the stunned officers. The news exploded. The Canoe Man was back from the dead. His sons, Mark and Anthony, were overjoyed, their prayers seemingly answered. They flew to London for an emotional reunion, embracing the father they thought they had lost forever. For a fleeting moment, it seemed John might just pull off the impossible a second time. But the internet never forgets. A simple Google search for John and Anne Panama by a curious individual unearthed the bombshell. There it was, the 2006 photograph of the smiling couple, looking relaxed and happy in sunny Panama. The photo was time-stamped a full 4 years after John had supposedly drowned. It was undeniable proof. The story of the amnesiac returning from the dead crumbled in an instant, replaced by the sordid reality of a massive fraud. When confronted with the photo by journalists, Anne's facade shattered. The game was up. The police arrested John, and soon after, Anne was apprehended as she flew back from Panama. The emotional reunion with their sons turned to ash. Mark and Anthony were not just grieving again, they were betrayed. Their pain manipulated and used as a cover for their parents' greed. They publicly disowned them, declaring their parents' actions as indefensible. The subsequent trial was a media sensation. John and Anne Darwin were found guilty of fraud. John was sentenced to 6 years and 3 months in prison, while Anne received a slightly longer sentence of 6 years and 6 months for her role in deceiving the insurance companies and, most cruelly, her own children. They both served about half of their sentences before being released. Their marriage, built on a foundation of lies, unsurprisingly, did not survive. After his release, John moved abroad, reportedly remarrying. Anne wrote a book about her experience, attempting to explain her side of the story. But the betrayal of her sons has left a wound that may never fully heal. The story of the Canoe Man serves as a chilling reminder of how a web of lies, no matter how elaborate, will eventually unravel, often in the most public and humiliating way possible. A man who wanted to disappear ended up becoming a household name for all the wrong reasons. Thank you so much for sticking with us through this unbelievable story. It's a wild one, isn't it? If you found this as fascinating as we did, do us a huge favor and hit that like button. And subscribe to Killume for more deep dives into the most bizarre true crime cases. We'll see you in the next one.